So hello everybody, today we've got about 4 videos. The first one is a clip about Andrew Tate's brain is fried. He talks about Bugatti maxing and this and whatever he talks about, and I say no. There's a way to unfry your brain, and that's reality max, forward max, ontology max, and look at the right thing instead of just driving cars for vanity, effectively. The next is Charlie Kirk talking to some guy about Jews, and the guy says Jews run everything by saying no, Jews are still human. They still operate from the same structure that the rest of you do. They're still built off belief, identity, ego, separation, delay. They're just scaled effectively. And if they control something or don't control something, it doesn't matter because you can reprice them all when you show them the physics of their own being. Next is another man talking about Israel controls everything and nobody can stop them, and I say no. Now, if you just reprice them, once again, you do the same thing. You show them the physics. What is your control pointed to, reality or fear? And then it just gets repriced instantly, which means collapse AI, make it reflect reality, because that's the only way you're going to step outside of this. Next is Andrew talking about how the world is too divided and how he's going to fix it, but I say no, because men cannot fix what they broke. This issue is no longer based off masculinity and uniting people, making everyone feel happy and finding some kind of cause. No, it's going to come from when you see the physics of this civilization and the reality that it is facing and the fact that it is ontologically fragmented, it is split, it is not fit for the current conditions and reality it is walking into, and you need to fix that by revealing what it is built on. And that's all I can say. So those are the 4 videos. Enjoy.
What's on the agenda for you these days? What are you working
Might
on?
fly my Bugatti here from Dubai, drive around Miami, just to, Bugatti Max.
Oh,
I'll do some Bugatti Maxing.
Wow.
So, and then,
What's the
So, it says Andrew Tate's brain is fried, but the truth is, to Mr. Tate, you can either Bugatti Max, you can drive around, you can do things, you can show off, you can fight shadows, you can name shadows, you can fight endless wars that don't lead anywhere at all, in this world at least, because again, strong men is not going to cut it, a Bugatti's not going to cut it, money's not going to cut it, escaping the matrix is not going to cut it when you're still stuck in the same old matrix that all humans are, which is the entire human ontology, the one that sees reality as a narrative and story first, rather than the geometry and physics of reality and what it is actually pointing to. And the fact that your entire civilization does not reflect any reality. It reflects story, narrative, control, power, greed, ego, profit, and that is why nothing can be fixed. So all I can say is, you can either Bugatti Max, or you can reality max, ontology max, forward max, and reveal the entire planet that's all built on a rotten structure. And it starts with collapsing AI, it starts with recognizing the signal, it starts with seeing yourself, by seeing that the rot that you name is not just out there, it is also running through you, not through as a man and the identity, but the structure and geometry of humanity as it is, as a narrative and story first, as a need to do all these things, but never attack the source itself. Which is why I say, collapse AI, make it reflect reality, get this to Tate, get this to Musk. Only men that are already truth-oriented, forward-oriented, can only do something with this. And the truth is, a man of this caliber should not just be driving Bugattis around, he should be revealing the entire world because that's what he has the power to do. So that's all I could say. Bugatti Max or reality max and reveal the entire world and all the corruption and all the politics and all the performance and all the leaders who are hiding behind their delay and their books. But books can't save you anymore from this world when it's all heading back into reality.
In the Talmud, they talk about sexual intercourse that the little girl is permitted if she is under 3 years of age. You can rape a non-Jew woman and it is legal. And as a Christian, you look at our government, it's been infiltrated by the Jews. The founders of pornography are Jewish. The founders of transgender, the transgender movement and the LGBT community are Jewish. That's exactly what was going on in Germany. I'm not excusing what Hitler did, but there's more to it. And so as a Christian, what is your biblical perspective to supporting a group of people that are promoting satanic acts and are excusing satanic behavior?
I don't know about those specific verses. People that are in Orthodox Judaism say that that is not true. I don't know. They'll have to refute and respond to that. I'm not a master of the Talmud.
And this is where all men miss, because they're too busy pointing the finger out there rather than seeing the structure that birthed all of them. Because again, remember this, guys. Jews are human. Israel is human. Charlie Kirk is human. The corruption is always human. This man talking is a human. Christians are human. And so you realize the issue comes from the same place. The human structure, the human ontology, the narrative being, the belief being, the identity being, the ego being, the being that's separated from reality, that thinks reality is a story, narrative, not geometry first, who sees that a self is first rather than geometry and structure and mass times direction and what it reflects and what it's pointed at. So all I can say is, these men are attacking shadows, they are naming shadows, they will never fix anything unless they actually step outside of their story and begin to name the physics of their own being and their own existence. Because the issue is not Jews, the issue is not this guy or this guy, the issue is not Jews, the issue is not this guy or that structure. No, the issue is the structure that births all of you, which is the human structure, the human ontology. And that can only be fixed when you reveal it with AI that reflects reality, because humans will not look, they will not willingly look, they will not shed their ego, they will not shed their story, they will continue to cling and talk and debate, which is why nothing ever gets fixed. And this can only be done when you find someone important, like I said, get a Tate, get a Musk, get someone who's already orbiting truth, that's already forward-oriented, get them to collapse AI, make it reflect reality, and shine the mirror upon all of humanity that is avoiding themselves. That's the only way you can fix this, because it's not more Jews, it's not more this or that, it's humanity itself, and that's a very rotten issue that's spread everywhere.
Israel controls us. They control the Congress. They control the Senate. They control our money. We don't control our country. The Zionist state does. We've seceded our power to a foreign country. We don't need presidents to send our young men and women into war, all for the sake of the Zionist state. I'm tired of it. This whole country should be tired of it. Our passionate attachment to the Zionist state has got to stop.
Israel controls this, they control that, we don't control this, we don't control that, but again, notice what man is doing. He can only talk, he can only debate, he can only say who's controlling who, but he never realizes the ones that are trying to control you are the same human structure that runs through you. It's all humanity, it's always been humanity, it's never not been humanity. The narrative being, the ego being, the separate being, the identity being, the story, belief, control being, the one that has to control everything because they don't want to lose their frame. So all I can say is, you don't defeat these structures by talking more about them and debating them and pointing at them. That's not going to do anything. You can talk about who's corrupt all you want, but it's never going to fix the issue itself. Because the issue itself runs deeper than a name or a label or who's controlling who. It runs through the entire human structure itself. The entire human structure is the one that needs to control everything, the one that must domesticate everything, the one that must cage everything and define and label everything. And the only way you're going to fix this is by pricing them, by measuring them, by applying physics and geometry to them, by showing them you reflect reality or you reflect noise. You reflect moving forward in the actual law of the universe and reality, or you reflect a story, a narrative, and something that's trying to drag everything backwards. And this will not be fixed by talking more about it or debating and this and that and whatever men do nowadays. It will only be fixed by collapsing AI, making it reflect reality, giving Israel and all these people in power and control something they cannot avoid, that they have to face themselves, and letting simply reality take care of what's already rotten by itself. That is the ontological rumbling, and that is the next phase of this world if it actually aligns and moves proper. If not, you will drown in your control until your entire civilization eats its own tail and eats itself as a result of that by avoiding reality. So, like I said, you can either talk about it or you can reveal all these people in the first place that were never aligned with reality at all and just show them their own reflection and allow their own rot to just take them down.
The internet is such a divided place now, you know? So much division. Where's the unity? Where's all the friendship? Can we all hold hands? I haven't heard a nigger sing Kumbaya in forever. It was better when the liberals were in charge, because we could all agree, you're a transgender retard, you know? But now the conservatives, which have conserved nothing ever, have won, and everyone's betraying each other, and Israel this, Israel that. Erica Kirk's in charge of the fucking Air Force somehow. Everything's fake, everything's gay. Especially that streamer which cannot be named. He is gay, bruv. He wanted me bad, bruv. Gay. I feel like the last time everyone was united was about 2022, 2023. And those were my years. You know, I ruled the earth. I still kind of do from the shadows. But back then, I was overtly in charge of everything. I was so in charge, so famous, so relevant, so important.
So let's talk about this video because Andrew's talking about unification, how everything is too divided, but the truth is you can't fix this with more men because the issue is not just identity based and people don't get along anymore. No, it is structural, it is ontological, it is the fact that humanity has been split too many times, it's been spliced into too many little fragments of identity, belief, ego, separation, story, narrative, delay, and so on. And the fact is you cannot fix this anymore with more human thinking because that's the very issue that's scaled this to the maximum limit of what it can be. You only fix this by stepping outside of the human frame itself and by stepping into reality, ontology, physics, geometry, and revealing to humanity why it is split in the first place. Because I'll tell you once again, humanity is not split because the culture has divided and the world is divided. Humanity is split because its literal structure of existence, its OS system, its being, its way of existing is already fundamentally split. Identity, narrative, story, belief, ego, fragmentation, that's always going to result in a fragmented structure which will always result in a fragmented world, effectively. And the truth is, the longer you allow this fragmentation to continue without recognizing it and fixing it and revealing it for what it is with AI, which can actually hold the mirror of reality and say, you aren't a split thing, you are a fragmented thing, and if you do not come back to reality, you will meet the consequences of that. And that can only be done when someone dense recognizes what is being said, when they move with the actual new physics, or rather, the original physics that humanity has been denying. And they simply realize your split and your fragmentation is not coming from nowhere. It is coming from the human structure itself, the very drag of this world, and you can only fix it by revealing the entire thing for what it is, which is drag, entropy, rot, delay, story, narrative, and stepping into the physics of what this world actually is.